Two Guys Theorize, a My Dad's Basement podcast. Welcome to the underground.
And welcome back to My Dad's Basement. We missed last week's episode of Two Guys Theorize because we are both parents, and that comes with obligations. So once again, happy belated birthday to your son, man. If you want to go ahead and give him a quick shout out before we get started, please do so.
Happy birthday, Keegan. Love you. You're too big. Stop it. That's it.
Yeah, no, that pretty much sums up every dad and their kids. Like, dude, like, where's the time going? Yeah, no, trust me. I called Leia 7 earlier today, and she's like, "I'm not 7 yet." I'm like, "Aren't you 7 in like 2 months?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "So you're 7, dude? Like, just it's official in November, but you're pretty much 7." Well, yeah.
See, that's why you go to school November.
So yeah, back to regular schedule programming. Right, exactly. Her and her mom are a week apart, dude. Like literally the 18th, I think the 24th. Wow. Like,
nice.
Yeah. But welcome back to Two Guys Theorize, where me and a special guest talk about whatever the hottest movie or show is at the time. As of right now, that would be Ahsoka, and this show is definitely, I don't even want to say it's dropped jaws. It's dropped draws. I mean, I knew my draws was on the floor at the end of episode 6. So, so if anything, we'll definitely cover some of episode 5 since we didn't talk about any of that. Even though everybody's pretty much talked about it at this point. Me and you have definitely talked about it in private. So I mean, we could definitely just hit on some of the stuff we talked about, but then we'll definitely go into episode 6, which we also kind of talked about beforehand. I try to make it a point to not talk to you too much before we shoot it, because I'm like, man, we won't have nothing to talk about if we talk about everything. But literally, like, even like the video I made earlier, I made a TikTok about episode 6. I used our conversation as reference points. Like, all right, don't forget to mention this. Oh, right, don't forget to mention that. Like, so yeah. Overall, what do you think about episode 6? Well, what do you think about 5 and 6? Let me get the overall view on both of those.
Quick on 5, probably has the greatest shot in Star Wars history, as Anakin is walking with the clone soldiers, and then explosion. He turns to Darth Vader, lightsabers red. I was like, that's the greatest shot in all of Star Wars.
Yeah,
there's nothing that's gonna come close to that. That episode was
that's
emotional, gripping. Yeah, that's the one. I do believe Ahsoka's eyes did turn Sith red. I don't know what all these dudes online are talking about, saying it's just the reflection.
Wait, that's
just the reflection of the lightsaber.
People are saying it didn't happen.
Yeah, they're saying it's just a reflection of the lightsaber.
It's the reflection of the lightsaber, but her eyes also. It's the symbolism. Like, you know what I mean? It's the symbolism that just for that second with the reflection that she's also that close. Like, you know what I mean? But that was the whole point of their whole encounter in the first place, is her dealing with this idea of having that darkness in her. Like, you know what I mean? And Anakin is like, dude, but you're more than that. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm more than just Darth Vader. But for her to be so hung up on it, though, that, we got to work that out. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead and keep going. I didn't know that was a thing.
You're preaching to the choir.
Obvious.
You're preaching to the choir. There was a lot of big sites that were spewing that nonsense. And I was like, you're on crack. It's obviously Sith red and the lights as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell by her face. She looks mad. Like she about ready to kill this dude.
Right. Yeah, no, it was the flash of seeing the dark side in her, which, the whole point is that everybody has that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. I thought it was very well done. It was subtle, like, you know what I mean, but it's obvious, as we said. It's subtle but obvious. I know that's an oxymoron, but
I didn't realize she had psychosymmetry, whatever they call it, when you can touch an object and you can read a force imprint from it. So at the end of the episode, I was like, oh, cool. Shout out to Quinlan Voss. All right, my boy. To his little force power that he has.
Right.
But yeah, episode 5 was definitely just a great episode all the way around. Like, pacing was great. Jason is the man, as we spoke in private. The fact that he could hear the lightsabers from another dimension is wild.
Man,
it's wild.
Yeah. So clearly, Filoni's setting him up for something big. Like I said, like, I'd never thought about it until you mentioned it, but with that scene or that episode alone and them showcasing that, along with the, I got a bad feeling about this kind of thing, he's definitely going to be a major player come the future. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like you, because like I said, you pointed out that even his name or just his character, the name in general, is a reference to Jason Solo, which never crossed my mind. I know all about the twins and Anakin Solo, but I was like, oh, that's perfect. And then if he's an adult, obviously by the time we get to where Rey is, or like a teenager, that fits perfectly with the time frame. Like, you know what I mean? That fits perfect.
Yeah.
And you could even still get some type of like Triforce action if you got Rey, Grogu, and Jason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have one of them still go one way, like, you know what I mean, and they still play that out like how they did in the books. But yeah, keep going. My bad, man.
No. That's
real quick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say episode 5. I think honestly that one probably has the best lightsaber battle outside of Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Duel of the Fates is up there. But if I don't know, man, and like the only reason I would even say Duel of the Fates might be better than the one we got with Ahsoka and Anakin is because it's longer.
I was just gonna say that.
Like that's it. The fight with Ahsoka and Anakin was brief, but every action in it, like you said, it had emotion behind it. There was purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even just seeing Anakin with his form, and he clearly has mastered the form because he was literally just doing katas while he was fighting her or whatever. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, like that's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's got it. Like, yeah, no, he's done. Like, so yeah, no, Anakin Hayden Christensen, should I say, is goated as clearly one of the best lightsaber duelists of all time. Because like all I could think watching that is like, oh, he still got it. Like, he's like got it like real good. Like, he's not even like, he ain't slowed down at all. He's not like Keanu in Matrix Resurrections. He's solid. Like, he's still the chosen one.
He's been practicing at home all these years. Like, there hasn't been anywhere. Every time he has something in his hand that's anything resembling a stick, he's doing right. He's doing all this. You already know. You could just tell.
Right.
Yeah. That was.
So
great.
The crazy part is that apparently his daughter, who I think is the same age, I think, as my daughter. I think she's like 7 or so, but she doesn't know that he's Darth Vader. I'm like, dude, like, I mean, which I also understand because that might be a little hard to understand. Like, hey, my dad is the guy that killed all those kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. It was a joke. I was acting. But I just, me in general though, there's no way I could hide that or like not be like, hey, check this out. Like, like that would be me as a dad. If I was someone like a Darth Vader or like I'm like some type of superhero or epic or something like that, I'm like, hey, so while you're sitting there doing your homework, just check this out and see what you think.
Click.
Right.
I mean, I would have
stopped.
That's
the whole thing, though, right?
I would have had her stop. Listen, you watch Clone Wars, you watch Attack of the Clones. When you're 12 and 13, we'll get to Revenge of the Sith, and then we can finish it up. That would be the smart parenting way to do it. Yeah. Just wait a little while.
Right. No, honestly, I remember going to go see episode 3 in the movie theater, man. And I remember in that opening scene and like the hangar and stuff and all the stuff for R2, I was like, all I could think of is like, man, why is this so goofy? Like, it's almost like it's like a kid's like thing. But then obviously I realized by the time we get to the end of the movie, it's so dark that you have to have it light in the beginning. Otherwise, you just leave the movie completely depressed. Like, you know what I mean? Because the movie gets real dark. Like, you know what I mean? Because in the beginning, I was so confused. I was like, why are I doing all this goofy shit? Like, what is this? And then, I mean, it was still good. Like, I mean, but I was like, man, the tone is just really different than what I'm used to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but all right, that's cool. But yeah, no, they had to balance it out because, like I said, you got Anakin killing kids is clearly like the worst thing that you can do. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Choking his pregnant wife might be up there as well. That could be.
Yeah. No, that's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that particular moment, did you peep? I think it was Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka when they first met up, and I think that might have been episode 4. Now that I'm going back to it, they dropped the robes super quick. Like when they first started talking, like Anakin and Obi-Wan, like start the dialogue, drop the robe immediately because they know it's about to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I love that.
It was on site.
Revenge of the Sith is so. Yeah, I love that though.
This conversation is a formality.
Yeah, being able to. Right, exactly. Yeah. But the seeing the Clone Wars live action was amazing. You could tell they used that big the 3D set screen. You could tell they used that for it. Which clearly is like the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to the special effects stuff, because the stuff that they can do with it, even like when they were showing like behind the scenes stuff on like Obi-Wan and stuff like that, I was like, man, like they've come, like you don't even have to pretend like, you know, or imagine that you're in these places or be on location, like even on set, I mean, you're there, like, you know what I mean, like you are there. So big kudos to Filoni and whoever else for setting that up how they did, because using the smoke, I mean, granted the smoke obviously is also to kind of grant the illusion that they're in this dream world or whatever the case is, but it set the ambiance for the battle, like, you know, the war itself perfectly, because like, yeah, of course it's smoky, it's bombs and shit going off everywhere, like and thank God they cleaned up Hayden Christensen's face compared to how they did in Obi-Wan.
Yes, definitely the face was an improvement. Do we know for sure if Tamura Morrison was in the Captain Rex armor? I heard that he was, but I don't know if it's confirmed.
It was just his voice.
It was just okay.
I think
that would have been too far.
I think it's just voice, which I'm cool with. Right. I'm thinking if and when we get to a point where they do any real flashbacks. I mean, at this point, I've seen people asking for like, you know, just give us a Clone Wars live action like show, like give us a miniseries or something, like. Which, I mean, after what I saw, I mean, I'd watch that. Like, I'd watch the hell out of that. Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad though. And that's the thing. Like, I've always loved Hayden Christensen. And granted, his line delivery was a bit off at certain points during his Anakin stint. But it's good to see him kind of get this redemption arc, just like Ahmed Best and Daisy Ridley kind of getting, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the love upon their return. I think that's so cool, man. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know he was getting shitted on heavily back in the day for his portrayal of the character.
It was terrible. Like, it was heartbreaking. Yeah, I felt bad for the dude. I was like, what I think we see is what happens when you get decent writing, because I don't think Revenge of the Sith or his lines in Clone Wars, I mean, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were not really, they weren't meaty.
Crisp.
So you can only do so much. This had more emotional depth. It had more of his sarcasm and his humor. So he was able to play more into it. You know, I'm one of the weird ones who love the movie Jumper, even though I will admit it is a C movie at best. But I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is so kind of fun.
So I was geeked to see that when it came out too, and I did. I went to go see it like first day kind of thing, and I think it was one of those movies where the concept and world building that they did was good, but they were clearly banking on another one. They were banking on a sequel, and when it didn't perform, that never came, because it was one of those ones like, all right, like you kind of whet my appetite with this one, where you piqued my interest. Like this was a good starting point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but now where are we going with this? Because like I'm waiting to see. You basically built this world that is this huge, you know, sub world with these jumpers and there's people chasing them, and there's obviously a whole, you know, world of that. We've seen glimpses. We've seen Samuel Jackson kill that one guy in the jungle, and now we've seen him chasing Anakin, like, I mean, because he's got a grudge from another galaxy. And you know what I mean? And then that's it. Like, I'm like, all right, like, so all right, but like, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for the more. It's kind of like how I felt about like Alita, Battle Angel. Like, well, that's a little bit different. That one, I felt like the way it was directed, it had like 5 different plots going on that they never finalized on. There was like, oh, we're gonna do the rollerball thing. Oh wait, no, she's a bounty hunter. Oh no, wait, no, she's an ex-soldier. Oh no, wait, her dad is gonna go to the place. Oh no, wait, her boyfriend is gonna lose it. And it's like, wait, like, not necessarily one thing at a time, but can we finish one of the side quests before we go and do another one? And like the main story, like I need you to break it down, bro, because like you're fucking me up out here, man. like I want to be into it, but like nothing is being fleshed out enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're showing me stuff and telling me stuff, and then it's like, oh, okay, let's go over here now. And I'm like, well, wait, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get into it. But I digress. But yeah, no. Also, outside of you know, the writing probably just being a lot better now because Filoni is a fan, and he's, you know, George Lucas Jr. I give a big credit to Hayden and his, you know, getting old and his maturity as an actor. Like, you know what I mean? Because obviously when you're in your 20s and stuff, you know, you're still kind of, you know, figuring shit out and just in general like the craft. But then now that he's, you know, it's been almost I don't want to say how many years. It's not 20. But this many years later, you know what I mean? And also he's had the Clone Wars to look into and to help research the character more as he's been fleshed out more in that, like you just said. So he had, like you said, he had more depth or whatever the case is to work with. And like I said, that combined with his, increasing, acting ability as you get older, you hone your craft. So yeah, no, I think he was great. My favorite line in episode 5 was the incorrect. I thought that was hard. Like that's what my favorite line in Star Wars at this point. Oh, because
I'm trying to remember.
It was when she brings up the Vader thing. She brings up the Vader. She's like, you're more powerful, more dangerous than anyone realized. And also, while we're on this topic, I love that he was irritated that she was hung up on the Darth Vader thing. He was like, "Is that what this is about? You mean the galactic genocide? Yeah, that's what this is about, dude. Like,
that's so yesterday. Come on. That was like a decade ago. Come on. You still mad I tried to kill you in that temple in Malachor? Come on.
Right. So I thought his reaction, albeit a genuine reaction based on where that character is now as far as his Zen kind of thing with the dark and light side, like he gets it obviously, but like for anybody else, dude, who's like a part of the real world, yeah, that's gonna be a thing, bro. Like you're Darth Vader. Like
that's a very Anakin way to look at it. I'm still focusing
much
on
else to talk about. Exactly. Very in character.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And after he says that, he's like, back to the beginning, and he's like, I'm giving you a choice, live or die. And she just says no, and he does the Michael Myers head tilt. Incorrect. Yeah. I was like, like I literally watched that part in the fight from that point on. Like, I can't even tell you how many times. Like, I've literally. Funny enough, I did the same thing with Revenge of the Sith. I was in high school when it came out, and then when it came out on DVD, show how much of a nerd I was. I was in Japan Club at my high school, and I don't know if I got a phone call or a text or something, but basically either my mom or somebody, like basically Revenge of the Sith, the DVD was at home, and I was like, oh. So I'm in Japan Club like geeking. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go watch it when I get home. And so I watched it, of course, when I got home, and then I think every day for at least, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks, when I would get home, I would literally put the movie on and pretty much start from the scene where Padme shows up on Mustafar. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? I'm started right here, and we'll go ahead and watch the rest because this is everything I needed and then some. That's the only time I've been on the edge of my seat in the movie theater was watching that scene. Like, I literally was on the edge of my seat with my mouth open, like, holy shit, this is happening. Like, they're doing it.
Yeah, I was in the movie theater yo, this fight is still going on? I was like, yo, like this, I was like, it's not like what? Well, we know what's going to happen, but time out. This is a long ass fight.
No, the fight's like between them cutting between that one and the Yoda fight, it's like 20 minutes. I was just about to say like 20 minutes.
I was like, I thought that was amazing. That like, yo, these dudes really went to the gym, got that cardio up, because this is like you can tell the way they were sweating. That's like actual, like, yeah, we're doing this right now. It's been 15 minutes and I can't even pick my arm up anymore. Like, it was pretty dope.
No, and that's honestly the best thing about that particular scene of their fight in general is how much work him and Ewan put in it, and not only that, but the amount of skill that they both have to do that at that speed, and like, you know what I mean, with that amount of choreography. Because that fight, man, like I can't even put it into words, but you could tell in episode 5 when he does the dark side switch that his fighting style then is more akin to when he fought Obi-Wan compared to in the beginning, where he was, like, it was more rigid and more right. Because that Vader without the suit is extremely aggressive. Like, you know what I mean? It is what is it? Ruthless aggression is what it is. Like, the perfect example I always use, and like one of my favorite things they show in the holotapes when he's doing Order 66 is that he chokes the guy and then is just fighting the other people as he's choking them. I was like, that's
and
hard.
the fact that he could use his gem dough his preferred style without the armor. Like I know even Force Ghost Anakin was like, must have been like, damn, this feels good to finally put my hands over my head and do my powerful chops that I couldn't do in my mechanical suit. Like you could tell, like the character's like, oh
yeah.
Like Anakin's like, damn, I've been trying to chop people down and I couldn't, but now let me practice on you, Ahsoka. Like I was like, okay, he's enjoying this way too much. The character himself is enjoying this way too much.
Right. Yeah. Now I've seen people even saying like that, like apparently they were thinking like, oh, like all of that was like it wasn't real, and I was like, why? What about that scene about her being in the world between worlds? Wouldn't you think was real? Like I guess they figure like, oh, she was in the water, like, you know what I mean, in dreaming. I was like, if she was in the water for all that amount of time, I'm pretty sure she would have drowned. Like, you know what I mean? Like what?
Like people just have dumb.
Yeah,
dumb takes for no reason. I was like, bro, just she felt the dark side. She wasn't really there. Shut up. Just enjoy it. It's a show. You're trying to put real life physics in it? Like, bro, they're moving rocks with like they have laser swords. Calm down.
Right. I mean, look, and as far as like stupid theories go, like I'll still stand behind that Star Killer was a decent theory. Like for Merrick, I still think that would have been a good way to go. But I do think what they did with Merrick, though, him being a Night Sister zombie, still great. Like, you know what I mean? Because as we can see now in episode 6, they clearly used that to set up the Night Troopers. Like, you know what I mean? Because we all thought, as I'm sure Ahsoka and them thought, that Merrick was a real Inquisitor. Like, you know what I mean? That he just was someone who survived this long and he's just been hanging out, like, you know what I mean, working, doing mercenary jobs or whatever. Cool, no biggie. But seeing him get, you know, mistied or whatever the case is, get misted. Pretty sure those Night Troopers are definitely zombies. I'm wondering if I guess Enoch's probably a zombie too, but he's got to be like some kind of OP kind of zombie. Like, you know what I mean? He's got to be something special, clearly, because he's got the mask from Gladiator, the Tigris helmet.
Oh, I love his freaking that helmet is fire. Like, I want that for my house. Like, it's just so creepy.
I'm waiting to see it at a convention. I'm waiting to see it at a convention in a cosplay. I'm waiting to see it because it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah, I think
I told Leia we got to do Anakin and Ahsoka.
Absolutely.
I was like,
we have no choice.
And then what we do and what you do the next day is we do Vader and Leia the next day. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like
right there. His 2 daughters. Anakin's 2 daughters. Let's keep it pushing.
Right. Exactly. So I think that I'll get a kick out of that. I was trying to tell him, like, you know, you're gonna have to put like makeup all over you, right? She was like on my face. I was like, yeah, but it's cool. Like, you know, it'll look fine. And she started asking about contacts, and I was like, Leia, I don't think they make contacts for kids, dude. I think you'll be fine. Like, I think you'll be okay.
They're not going to be too. They're not going to be too much. You're going to be adorable.
Right. I love the commitment, though. I love the commitment. Yeah. She's just like, so, like, how do they do that? I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that with you because I got one time for it to get stuck, and you talk about it
forever.
Hurt. Yep, nope, I'm good. Nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Good call. So it's been 23 minutes, and we still have not spoken about Thrawn, which I think might be a crime.
Oh, no. I literally was bringing that up. I was just about to say, I want to say, because of the recommendations from you and this other person, what little bit we saw in this episode was my first real exposure to him directly, because I didn't watch Rebels, and I haven't read the books or whatever the case is. Now, like you said, you know, like we discussed, I've gotten the gist of what's happened in the books, like with the Heir to the Empire trilogy, and I've heard about him in Rebels. And from my distant perspective, I always kind of had that feeling of like, yo, like, what's the big deal about this dude? He's just another Imperial officer. Like, we get rid of them all the time. But after researching and then seeing him in action, yeah, not the case. Thrawn is apparently like the best battle strategist in the entire history of the galaxy. So
pretty
that's
much.
something.
Yeah, he's kind of like
That's
a
a
Lex
feat all on its
Luthor.
own.
He's like a Lex Luthor if Lex Luthor possessed Professor X, like not with the sight, but the way that his mind works. How Professor X has one of the more
Yeah.
like he can find way because of his
Like
psychic
premier
abilities to
minds.
manipulate you. Like that's Thrawn. He gets it from artwork
Right.
and history, which is amazing. In the Heir to the Empire trilogy, that's one of the best things that I read. I was like, hold on, this dude can make a whole world surrender just by having a couple of pieces of their art. You freaking cool. Like, I don't even like, and they flesh it out a little in the book, and I'm just like, I wish they did more because it's such an interesting concept that nobody else had in Star Wars. And
Right. The fact that he can go and learn the cultures, yeah.
Like, I squealed like a little girl when he asked for Ahsoka Tano's biography, her masters, or this. I was like, oh, he's gonna go full Thrawn. He's gonna go full Thrawn. He's gonna get all that information, and he's gonna have the perfect plan for. I was like, oh, yes.
So, which makes me curious though, because I do know that I think it's in the books that he ends up figuring out that Vader is Anakin because him and Anakin went on a mission together. I think back in the day.
From before,
so he puts it together that he knows who he is. But
he's always known, apparently, according to
so I'm wondering
some books.
if they'll. So I'm wondering if they're going to use that in this conversation he's going to have with Ahsoka. He's going to be like, "Oh, yeah, no, I knew Anakin and I knew Vader." Like, you know what I mean? Like, but clearly at this point, because Ahsoka is Ahsoka the White now, like that's not going to matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now had he caught her beforehand, you know what I mean? He probably could have, messed with her head a little bit or whatever. But now, like, those tactics won't even be really that. Like you said, what they're doing with that is really just for the fan service. That's for us. Like, you know what I mean? To see him do his Thrawn thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, no, he's a G though. Like,
I'm here for it.
What little bit I saw, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Yo, did you see that they where Obi-Wan is Space Jesus, they've now named Ezra Space Moses.
Space Moses. I was dying. I hit the floor and I was like, he has the robes. They're a little red, just like Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm with that comparison. It was a great scene to see them together finally, Sabine. And like I said, I'm excited for the next episode's meltdown when Ezra is going to absolutely lose his mind on Sabine.
Oh yeah. He's gonna flip out. And so
I'm here for it.
I mentioned earlier, kind of briefly, I kind of trailed off on it, but I was under the impression that the other galaxy was the unknown regions. Apparently, unknown regions is within the same Star Wars galaxy. Now, the other galaxy is just a different galaxy.
Yeah.
So all this time, I thought the unknown regions were the other galaxy. And so someone was commenting and telling me like, oh, no, the unknown regions are in the same galaxy. It's just a section. Like, I mean, they basically like, go look at the map. It's like to the left of like the center of the galaxy. And so I was like, all right, well, thank you for the clarification. But now I'm confused because if the unknown regions are in the galaxy, why the hell have they not been explored? Like,
because of anomalies in the books.
Why wouldn't they get explored?
In the history, there's gravitational anomalies that you can't really, or no one has really been able to get through it. It's kind of like how, what's it? Exegol is still part of that galaxy.
Right. You got to do all that stuff.
You can't really,
right.
And there's stuff that actually subconsciously keep Jedi or Force users away from it. Because there's something like, not really dark, but something that's like, what the heck is this? It just gives you an eerie, in the Force, it gives you an eerie thing that you don't really explore. Even not too many Darksiders throughout the old history of Star Wars. The EU would go there because there was something like hindering them. Before, so.
Damn. Yeah. So, but it's never been detailed or explored. I mean, explained as far as what actually is out there, though. That's never been.
No, not even a couple of things have a couple of things. Abeloth, they believe, came from somewhere around there. She was in EU. She was the actual she was like a human nanny for the son and daughter of Mortis,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
she drank some elixir, and that made her immortal, and a force being like them. They think they kept her in the unknown regions, and she found a way to get closer to where someone can discover her. So like stuff like that, that eerie feeling. I don't know if you can use that to explain all of
Mm.
the unknown regions fear, but it's just there's so much stuff over there that also in the old Republic games. Also, who was in the unknown region? Valkyrian, you know, the Eternal Empire guy who's an
Right,
original Sith. Before he was discovered, that was considered the unknown regions or part of it.
right.
So there's always been something there, some force that keeps really like, nah, we're just gonna leave that alone. There's no need for me to go there. I'm not that desperate, like to get away
That's
from something. So that's
crazy.
with the unknown.
So
Yeah.
so now that it's been like explained and broken down to me, I'm super like that's something I would want to be. That's something I would want to research and something I would be super interested in, like trying to dive into and trying to figure it out because it definitely seems like it almost sounds like some Warhammer like 40K type mess. Like that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Like, oh yeah, that's where the old
Yeah.
gods are. And you're like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, no big, don't worry about it. Just don't go there. Like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
so
They're old
yeah, no,
guides
I'm
to the universe. You
yeah,
can
no,
Amazon
that
those.
piques my interest. Oh, okay,
Like Star Wars used
bet.
they used to
So
have guides.
and it reads like an in the universe thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, I like the immersion. With all of their documents and books and stuff like that. I like the fact that they make them as if to immerse you into the world. Yeah, the connection keeps dropping in and out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we haven't covered. Oh, Shin and Balin. Definitely thinking that we talked about this too. That they're probably. I'm hoping. Well, no, that kind of destroys my whole. No, it doesn't. Actually, it still works because it's not the unknown regions. I was gonna say I'm hoping that whatever's calling Balin's Skull is definitely related to the Old Republic. I mentioned Revan's tomb with the mask. You mentioned Nihilus, which, for the record, after I kind of broke that down a little bit, it would make more sense for it to be his mask because Nihilus and Scion were a lot closer to what was her name?
Treya.
The Night Sister
Darth
from Old
Treya.
Republic 2.
The
They
Night Sister.
were close with her. Right.
Yeah.
Which would make sense since Balin Skull and Thrawn are working with the Night Sisters. Like I mean, so for Nihilus to be out there, that would track because he's one of their people. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, no, we like him. Like he's cool. But didn't Treya get was she banished from the order from the Night Sisters, or she was still top tier?
She
Was she
well
like
no,
with
she was
them?
kicked
I
out.
know she was one. Was she with them
They
by the time
hinted,
she was
yeah,
doing all
they
that?
kind of really hinted at they hinted that she was a Night Sister. But I think I never read the Revan novel that really explained her that much. And Lord knows I should have, because he's one of my favorite characters. But
Because
she
she
definitely
trained
has
him
a
too,
lot of
right?
Night Sister in
Because
her.
she trained Revan.
Yeah, she trained Revan. She trained him as a youngling,
Yeah.
and then she retrained him apparently when he came back. Like after he came back from the wars, before he declared war, he went to her, and it explains a little in the game, and
Oh,
like
right, with the philosophies.
yeah. So she was
Yeah,
really
because the order
a Revan fan.
that's when the order kicked her out because they said that she influenced him. Right.
Yeah.
They were saying that she influenced him to go and do this, so they kicked her out. Right. I remember. And that's the thing, right? Is that when you look at Revan's story, like it's one of those ones that another great example that makes you question the Jedi Order because it's like, dude, like y'all keep having these moments where there's just stupid people in power because I'm like,
Yeah.
everything Revan is saying makes total sense. Like, dude, we can't just sit back and let them kill everybody. And they're like, yeah, no, like we're not doing that. And it's like, I get it, that's not the Jedi way, but we got to do something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't know so it makes him more of an empathetic character where like is he really a Sith? Like you know what I mean? Like like you know what I mean that's debatable. Like you know what I mean because he never really went full Sith. He was dark side for sure, but I don't know if he was a Sith. Like you know what I mean? Like that's a big difference. Like you know what I mean? Like I mean they had the rule of two thing going, him and Malik, but that was his apprentice anyway. It would have been just the two of them. Like you know what I mean? Like
no, they weren't apprentice. They were co-equal.
Oh, Revan.
And that's how Malik got his face his jaw chopped off in a battle to see who would be the master and who would be the apprentice. When Malik had that metal piece on his face, that was from that duel.
Yeah.
And then they kind of retconned his stuff. I'm not really a big fan of it from the Old Republic games. What happened was when he went to the unknown regions for a little bit, that's when he found Valkyrian. Valkyrian corrupted him and Malik and told them to invade for the Sith Empire. But something happened on their way back where
that's whack.
They broke the conditioning to think they were Sith. I was like, okay, I mean, sure, you want to sell this game and you want to try to link to.
That's whack.
Yeah, it was a little corny. It was a little corny, but you head on about. Because Revan.
I was gonna say I like the idea of them just going and doing it on their own because they had to. Like you know what I mean? Because the people that were supposed to be teaching them weren't giving them the tools they needed. So fine, we're gonna go find it our own way. Like you mean, and make sure that we can do what we got to do. And obviously, perspectives just get twisted.
Well, the council was right though, because what they were worried about was having Jedi go because they were sensing the Sith Empire, Valkyrian Sith Empire, before it came. Like this will corrupt a lot of people, so a lot of Jedi. So they were right in that case. Where they were really wrong is when he came back after he was redeemed, because this is what I know from the book, that he was like, the same way the Sith use hate and greed to power them, the Jedi should be able to use love and family to make them stronger in the light side. And the Jedi Council was like, oh no, we got to kick him out. He can't change the way we think, and led to stupid events afterwards. Just not wanting to change was their downfall. That's one of the reasons why I hated the Luke.
Right. I was gonna say
Last Jedi, because why would he repeat the same mistakes? In the EU, he changed all that.
Right.
And they were stronger and more powerful and more influential.
For that exact reason.
Yeah.
Right. As for that exact reason, because those teachings is why the Jedi Order failed and was destroyed. That was the exact reason. Like literally it, bro. Because I always said that like in my what if scenario of Anakin not, going to go kill Mace Windu or like to help Palpatine, I honestly would hope that once Mace got back and like everything kind of came to light, and let's just say for the sake of the story that the transition of power was smooth or whatever, that obviously they would have to honorably discharge Anakin. Like you give him the rank of master, but now he's honorably discharged. Like you get the rank of master, but you can't be in the order because you got kids and shit. Like like right. Like so we appreciate you, and you're a great member, one of the greatest Jedi who's ever lived, but we can't have you part of the order. But then but then that starts the conversation, like amongst the Jedi in general, though, right? It's like, oh shit, like, well, if the chosen one can go out there and have a family, and he's good, like, well, maybe I can go do that, like, like, and then it forces the Jedi to kind of adapt to these times because you don't want some mass exodus, like getting rid of all these, especially senior Jedi at this point. Who, for the most part, they don't say this explicitly ever, but a lot of those Jedi had relationships. Like, like they just don't ever.
There's a whole book.
Like, but like, there's definitely a lot of either romance or, that's what I'm saying. There's always something going on with these people, and I'm like the fact that they have to hide it, like that's the stupid part. Like, like,
I'm trying to remember I think it was Children of the Jedi, actually, was a Expanded Universe book where there was an entire planet of Jedi children that not only did they have with other people, that they had with other Jedi. And they trusted other knights to just, go on this mission and take our kids and train them in the Force. But the only downside about that what if, not because it's a great what if, not that it's a downside, is that obviously they're not taking Luke and Leia away from Anakin and Padme, so he's going to be training these kids,
Oh
and
no,
then he's
no.
going to
I'll
start
say
his own separate order.
So in my version of that, whatever. Exactly. Right, exactly.
And who wouldn't want to be on the Chosen
him.
One's
People
Jedi?
would come and be like, "Hey, like
Yeah.
Master Anakin." Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was what I was thinking, is that you have Anakin and Padme off on Naboo in the cut somewhere, and he's raising Luke and Leia and training them himself. Like I said, and then you get occasional visits from Uncle Obi-Wan and Auntie Ahsoka. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they come and visit every now and again because, why not? You know what I mean? Like, that's something that's cool. Like, now one of my friends, he took that what if a step further, because obviously you have to have some kind of conflict. You kind of had it where basically on occasion, or maybe just for like this one particular thing, like Obi-Wan comes and basically telling about the situation or something that's going on that they can't quite figure out or understand. So Anakin kind of comes on board. The long story short, you kind of introduce a young Star Killer who we don't know who he's trained by, but he's still super dangerous, right? And you have him kill Padme or something, or whatever the case is. So then Anakin is kind of dragged into whatever this conflict is, and then you have Obi-Wan and Ahsoka basically trying to quell him so that he don't just go off, right, and just kill everybody, like, because Padme just got killed. So then you have him still teetering with the dark side stuff now, but you get to play with it a little bit more and kind of go high on the lightsaber and force stuff, because it's him versus Star Killer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Like, I mean, because you get the OG master and the young hotness. Like, I mean, because he'd be a young dude compared to an older Vader. But like, it'd be one of those things like, oh, okay, like I can recognize you got skills and talent, but your training isn't complete, kind of thing. Like, one of those. But I don't know, and do something with that. I would watch that. They need to do a Star Wars what if TV show and just be done with it, because there's always been what if scenarios. Didn't they have a comic what if, don't they? Like, where they do a few different what if scenarios. Like, I saw the one where because I saw the one where Han and Chewie crash on Earth and Han dies, but Indiana Jones shows up.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's cool, I guess. Chasing Bigfoot, which is, Chewie.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I mean, I like the white armor Darth Vader or Anakin, that he comes back, like this guy
Vader
brings him back.
Oh, the redeemed Vader.
Luke brings him. Yeah. So the white suit looked pretty dope.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, the white suit is cool. I wanted to get the action figure, but I think I missed it. And those aftermarket prices are probably stupid.
Wow.
But yeah, no, the white Vader is cool. I actually have a Jaina Solo action figure somewhere in here. Oh wait, here it is. Nice. Behind my Leia. Oh wait, and it's next to Revan. How about that?
There you go, the Sword of the Jedi.
So, yeah,
both of them had the title of Sword of the Jedi. Oh yes.
Yeah, and then so you got Revan. I got 3 Revans total, because there's
nice.
Is this 3? No, maybe 2. No, I think I do have 3. I got this one. I got light side Revan over there, and then I got the one with the cardboard backing in Leia's room. And then just for shits and gigs, I got this too.
Me too.
Yeah. I had to get it. Yeah, I had to get it.
Yeah,
I had to get that
one. Yeah, I had no choice.
I was like, because they're kind of getting rid of all the old EU stuff. You don't know how long, if they're ever going to do stuff like this again. So
yeah, I have mine. I have mine somewhere over here.
Oh no,
I have mine somewhere in my house. I got that same one. I was like, mine. And I kind of love how Jania. I love how Jania has the Imperial,
the pilot.
Hey, my man,
the pilot.
My man is Jag Fell. You know what I'm saying? Let me rock. Let me cop his. Let me wear his gear. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. I thought this was
the
cool.
Star Wars version of my man's hoodie.
Right. Literally. Let me take his flight suit real quick. Yeah, no, I do like the fig. I want a different body for it though, because I wanted to have some type of, because that is one of the things I love about the old EU stuff, is that the Jedi in the modern times in the EU are more like Kyle Katarn, where like they dress or like Luke, like, I mean, it's a little more casual. It's not necessarily the robes, and I love the robes, but the casual look with the Jedi, like, that shit is dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just regular dude with a lightsaber. Like, which is basically
Kyle
Kyle
Katarn
Katarn.
is one of my favorites. So
Yeah, no, he's literally if you gave Han Solo a lightsaber in the Force, like that's literally who that is.
The Battle Master of the Jedi.
I mean, I'm
that's a dope title.
oversimplifying. I say I'm. You said Battle Master?
Yeah, that's his official title in the new Jedi Order. He's the Battle Master of the Jedi
nice.
Order.
I'm hoping he shows up. I'm hoping he shows up in the show or in the movies.
Well, he showed up in Obi-Wan.
When?
Do you remember the fake Jedi?
Wait, the Indian dude?
Yes, you remember him? The mother and son that he's helping. The son's name, if you look at the credits, it just says Kyle. That's a young Kyle Katarn.
No way, bro. Jeez, you just blew my mind. I'm gonna have to go look that up. But like, yo, I mean that's the thing, man.
Look up the episode and then scroll through.
They've set up so much. They've set up so much in all these shows, man. And like,
and there's gonna be no payoff.
Is it ever gonna pay off? Right?
No. They will find a way to reboot Star Wars before they set it up. Yeah,
because that would make too much sense, right? Like, that would make too much sense. I saw somebody earlier today was talking about after they explained the difference between the unknown regions and the new galaxy, that they were like, yeah, well, the Yuuzhan Vong isn't canon. And I was like, it's not canon yet, because they missed that with those future Rey movies and that future whatever they're doing post that trilogy. If they missed that opportunity,
they're dumb.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it that way. Like, I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, because like at this point, especially at that point in the story, unless you're gonna do something that's gonna refer to Old Republic, where you get like the people. I think that was probably the guys you were talking about, the people in the all white armor with the twins or whatever from the online game. Like, unless you're bringing them back or something where there's Force users who aren't Jedi or Sith and they're a threat, or you bring in the Yuuzhan Vong. Like, there's really nothing else that you could do that would top what we just saw, which is basically a version of the Star Forge, like, you know what I mean, and Palpatine brought back, like, you know what I mean, like, because you've abandoned all the stuff you could have done, like, you know what I mean. So if you're gonna top that, you have to do something different, and something like the Yuuzhan Vong. I'd be very curious to see how the average Star Wars fan would respond to that, especially live action, because you get these, nasty looking fleshy things or whatever that pretty much hate the Jedi. The ships look like Purgles, like, I mean, but except all fleshy and gross looking, like, you know what I mean? And
the ships didn't look that bad. Stop disrespecting my Yuuzhan Vong ships. The coral skippers were banging.
So I gotta look them up, because from the one I either saw or what I'm imagining, I always imagine basically like imagine the Purgles, but like almost like zombies, like, you know what I mean, but not necessarily like where they're like holes in them, but it's just flesh and like just like nastiness, like just like.
Well, that sounds like Disney-fying. That's Disney-fying them. Right. Initially, they were beautiful, just not really fleshy, but kind of organic with the way, like the way you would put some life on like a comet, a breathing. Okay. That's how I always imagine it from the reading, like a ship that. Oh snap! Is that really okay? Like, I think the fleshy stuff is more like the Sith spheres. Like there was it's similar to what Ventress had a fight with Anakin with in the old 5 minutes Star Wars. Right. But that one is actually a little less mechanical because the orb is supposed to be a living sentient being.
Right.
So that's what you're explaining more. This one is like, as much as they hate technology, it still mirrors technology.
Right. It's just organic technology.
Yeah, it's just organic technology. Don't be disrespecting my coral skipper, son. Like, I dreamed I had one, kid. Like, I read every one of that new Jedi Yuuzhan Vong invasion.
Yeah, no, so now I'm gonna have to go back and read it. So the invasion happens after Heir to the Empire, right? Like way after. Like, this is like some years after Heir to the Empire.
This is like 10, no, actually more than that. I think it's like 20. I think it's like 2011. Hold on, let me check something.
I was gonna say,
because is
in that time period. Oh, that's cool. So in that time period, is it just peace, or is that when all the stuff with Kyle is going on and like all the other stuff is going on?
This universe can't have peace. There's no peace. I mean, Leia's doing her best. She's trying
Lady
to keep
Vader.
the peace. There's always stuff going down. Some good little stories. Deal with some remnant things.
Mary Jane shows up before then, though, right?
Mary Jane shows up in the Heir of the Empire.
That's when Empire. Right. Because she's the assassin sent to kill Luke, and they end up falling for each other. Right.
Yeah.
I gotta read that because I'm curious how that happens. She meets who?
She meets Corran Horn, another Jedi, who is a book, I Jedi.
That name sounds familiar.
I Jedi is written in the first person, which I found fascinating. I was like, oh snap. So it's like, so when I used the Force, I was like, I was really into it. Like, it talks about the sphere of influence that a Jedi creates.
Yeah.
And like the stronger you are, you're able to expand it deeper so you can react faster. Well, not you react, but you can sense more. But when you can make it, the closer you get around you, the quicker your reflexes are because you're focusing in a small area. I was like, yes.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
I was home with my blanket. I was being my little Jedi right there. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I swear that's just like picking up like the sticks or whatever the case is and pretend like the lightsabers. I feel like everybody does that. You put the blanket on the robe and you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
Look, even on occasion with the automatic doors when I go out, I'll do the
What do you mean on occasion? Every time I walk the automatic door and I know it's coming, I'm like every time.
So the question is, how many people have said something to you about it?
Nobody, because they all do the same thing and they just try to front.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would imagine because I would be the guy. I'd be the guy to be like, yo, you watch Ahsoka? Like, you watching it, bro? Like that would be me. Because like I told Leia beforehand, I'm like, yo, if you ever see a grown man in the toy section at a Target or something that's by himself, he collects action figures like daddy. Like, just trust me. Like, trust me. Like, absolutely. Sure, he may have a kid or there may be a birthday party. Just trust me. 9 out of 10 of those grown men, it's him. And I also know not only the grown men, but they also like look at you nervously because they're a grown man in the toy section. And that's why I'm always like, nah, it's cool, bro. I'm one of you. Like, it's all good.
I understand. I'm gonna take my daughter away for a couple of minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
But too, and outside of that, outside of it just being looked at, I guess, however, by people who don't collect, what I always imagine is that they also know that I'm there collecting. So what they don't want to do is bring attention to a figure that they want, but they're debating on. Like, you know what I mean? Because I've seen that too, where like you're sitting there, but you don't necessarily want to grab what you're trying to grab. Because now I did have it one time where the person, I guess, either was nervous or wasn't sure what they were getting. I just grabbed the shit because I was like, okay, he hasn't done it yet, so I'm gonna take this. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it was like the only one of that fig too. And I was like, yeah, I'm not. He's bullshitting. I'm gonna take it because
absolutely.
I see the value here. Yeah, I see the value here. But I try to be very careful. Also, when people hide figures behind other action figures too. I'm like, dude, like, really, like. You went this hard to go put this behind the LOL doll, son. Like, all right, that's cool. Like, you do know they reset, right? Like,
yeah, they don't. People never worked at retail. That's how you can tell.
Right. Exactly. I'm like, look, unless this is something where like you're gonna hide it real quick to go grab money or get the money and come right back, you hiding it serves no purpose. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, my Target has been pretty. No, I don't say it's pretty run down, but it's like most Targets. It looks like it's one of those ones that's been robbed. Like every time you go inside, it's like, all right, there's just nothing here. So I mean, sometimes it might take them a few days to reset, but like I said, unless you're going back the same day, there's no point in hiding anything. In my opinion, as a collector, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, no. So I got to read Heir to the Empire and get a full picture of Thrawn, so that way. Because, like I said, it's one of those things. Like I didn't have the weight and expectations behind it. Like people who have read it and watched Clone Wars and stuff, or Rebels. I'm like, dude. Like to me, like I said, I would be the person to underestimate him because I'm just like he's an Imperial officer, just like the rest of them. Like you know what I mean? Like it had been.
So
I would have treated him. I would have treated him just like how Anakin and Obi-Wan were treating Dooku when they ran into him the second time. Like, Sith Lords are our specialty. Like, it would have been something like that, and they got fucking bodied, and I'd be like, oh my god, this is war. This is real.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, man, they would got like he would have smoked if the Chiss was on the sides of the Separatists during the galactic thing, if they cared, Palpatine's plan would have been screwed. He would have had to personally go over there and assassinate him because like, yo, you're too good.
So where are the Chiss? Like, where's the planet located?
Their planet is located again near the unknown regions. So they were just like, yeah, hey, just leave them alone. Like, we don't really go there, but we know there's a presence. We know there's I don't want to say republic, but a nation, I guess, is the way you. I'm trying to think of an empire. That's what they are. They're the Chiss ascendancy. Like there's another mini empire there that we don't really want to mess with. And when the battles came to them, then they were like, whoa, what y'all doing? And they just sided with Palpatine and the Emperor, the Emperor and the Empire because, all right, we want peace because we don't want any more. We don't want you people near us. And since you're going to keep the peace, we're going to give you, like there was a mission. I think it's in his new book. Timothy Zahn did a new trilogy with Thrawn, with his full ridiculous Chiss name that has like 87 letters. And
right. I've seen that.
He ends up being the sacrificial lamb to be like, listen, I'll work for this empire to ensure that one, we're safe, and that they, we keep the peace.
So I saw a video, I guess, about like his origins and how he got into the empire, like something brief that kind of just went over his stuff. So, but that's what I was going to ask you. Like, what is he trying to keep them safe from? Like, what is such a big threat that he needs to go and do this?
Just chaos. They're very particular people. Like he wants to keep the ascendancy from having to come into war. He's like, listen, this ain't my fight, so I don't want to deal with y'all. And I think the Emperor initially said yes because they were explaining more in the books and even in the I think the Rise of Skywalker novelization that Palpatine always sensed something out there was a threat.
And it was Thrawn.
No, not Thrawn. It was something beyond the unknown regions. Because I need a map to see where exactly they went through. Because I think the galaxy that they went through is behind the unknown regions.
Right. So maybe that's why I got confused.
Yeah, I think that's the main gist of it is that it's you can travel through the unknown regions to get to open space. Then you have the gap in between galaxies. Or at least that would make sense if Disney did it. Listen, Disney, just make sense one time. That's all I want.
Right. I was gonna say because that would make sense. Oh.
And he had the Chiss as an ally. Palpatine, the Emperor, be like, if I keep them, they can be a one. In the EU, it was the Yuuzhan Vong coming from the outside galaxy.
Right.
But it could be whatever's in, if they don't use the Yuuzhan Vong for whatever idiot reason that Disney does, they could use it, it could be whatever's in behind Perita or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't do the Yuuzhan Vong. That's such a waste because that's such a different route for a live action Star Wars that hasn't been touched. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like that's something unique that any hardcore old EU fan, anybody who is fan of the sequels or whatever, that's gonna catch your attention. You're gonna be like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and the Force don't work on them.
You can't even.
Right. I was like, the Force doesn't work on them. Because, like I said, that presents a whole new set of problems. Because up until then, like, I mean, granted, we've seen Jedi get killed plenty or whatever, but they're basically superheroes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and to basically have a whole race of people where their powers don't work, which is why somebody like Grogu would be the perfect kind of setup for them. Because I can do all the other shit, but I got these blickies too for you.
I got these hands
right here,
right there.
Got these blickies. So yeah, but I'm geeking to see where the next episode is going. Like I said, the one thing I know for sure we're gonna get is Ezra flipping out on Sabine, and that's one of those things. Like if I don't get nothing else happening in that episode besides that, I'll be okay. Like I'll be fine. Like I'll be fine.
I just want Shin to murk one person because I know she's building up to like if the next Empire person gets next to me,
I was gonna say, have you seen how she be looking at everybody? Like every time somebody, she be like,
she's like, "Can I kill him? Can I kill him?" I think she's the one who killed Enoch. I think she kills Enoch, which would be sad because I love the actor who plays him.
Yeah. I saw that too. I saw who that is. Did you see that Claudia Black is the Night Sister?
I was like, I was looking at it, I was like, yo, why am I getting Farscape and Babylon?
I'll say the voice is what did it for me, because like, man, the voice sounds real familiar. But I just figured they just, did it in post. Like, you know what I mean? You got somebody doing the acting and you give her this, this mystic voice. No. We got the actress with the mystic voice. We don't have to know that in post. It's all done. Yeah, so I'm very curious. And then my boy Thronte out here, he better have some gold on before the goddamn season's over. I know that. Thronte Jones.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? Play games, dude. Even though I wish my man would have been on a little diet, like that gut was that gut was.
I saw the picture of the pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah, I was like, my guy, what you eating? What you eating that you like this?
Like one of Don's characteristics is that he's literally just super slim. Like, you know what I mean, he's literally just straight down. Like, you know what I mean, like super straight down. I mean, but we're all realistic here. We're all humans and people. Yeah. So things happen when you get older.
Yeah. Me and Bertha ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Me and Bertha.
Oh yeah, no. My Leia has been calling me thick for a while. I had to tell her a while. I was like, Leia, okay, we're good. Like, I got it. You don't have to keep telling me. But Dad, I was just, nope, I'm good. I got it. I'm thick. I'm gonna lose the weight. Understood. But she doesn't encourage me though. She does try to get me to work out. She's like, Dad, we should work out. Or we were doing it. But yeah, so she doesn't just criticize, she supports.
There you go. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Will, man, I didn't kept you for an hour, bro. As great as the conversation is, I'm sure we could keep going. If anything, man, what I might try to do, we might just try to do another one over the weekend and just talk. Like, you know what I mean? Because
there's so much. We didn't even talk about Bale and Skull.
And then, of course, we'll do one on Tuesday. Oh, that's another thing, too. Next week for Ahsoka, I want to... Breaking up.
Hello? Yeah.
You said Bale and Skull's badassery?
Yeah, we didn't talk about just his presence on the... I'm saying, like, we still haven't even touched on him just being there and terrifying the screen. Like,
that's his job. That's literally what he goes there to do every day when he shows up. Real quick, I will say this though. I do like how they've made it a point to kind of show you with his direct dialogue and then with the subtlety of his mannerisms that he's not fully dark side. Like, he's not evil. Like, you know what I mean? But obviously he has his reasons, but he's not evil. And which is why I kind of buy into the Nihilus and Revan thing, because it kind of fits his character archetype, where he has kind of stepped beyond the practices of a Jedi, where he sees beyond that and understands that the Jedi way and the Sith way are both flawed. Like, you know what I mean? That really the only real way to master the Force is to be able to do both. Like, you know what I mean? And very few people have gone down that path and succeeded. So we shall see. But yeah, no. For you give me say flood me with his badassery. You can end the podcast with a Bale and Skull appreciation.
It's just too much. It's just even when he's sounding somber, I'm still scared to death of him. Like when he was talking about where Sabine killed the people, and he's like, yeah, and he just looks over his shoulder, and I'm just like, why am I getting goosebumps? Why am I scared right now? Like, he's talking like a grandpa, but he's like, yeah, I'm a grandpa who used to be in the SS, and I murdered people for fun. Yeah, that was my job. That's the vibes you get. It's wild.
Right. Especially because he's not quick to pull the lightsaber like Shin is. I feel like people who aren't quick to do that are more scary. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, if you're gonna come and fight me, like, okay, I can deal with that. But if you're like, no, chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I have other plans. Like, because now I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're gonna do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that makes you dangerous now. There's someone who's trying to
And
fight
you're
me, like
so
somebody like
sure.
Shin, just sends Sabine out.
Yeah. And he's so sure
Right.
that he can put a
Right.
whooping on
Exactly.
you. Like, he's like,
That you
we don't need to do this right now.
right. Like, yeah, clearly he knows something I don't know, which, as you just said, puts the fear in you. Because if he's this calm and cool, collected, it's like if you see two people arguing or about to fight, and one person is kirking and the other person just like, dude, like, chill. That's the person you should be looking at, because he's about to do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
The one person
Some
who's calm
jujitsu
when the confrontation is happening, be afraid of that person. Right. Be afraid of that person. But yeah, no, I'm waiting to see Balin Skull turn on Thrawn and them. I don't necessarily turn on them, because I feel like Thrawn and them are going to turn on Balin Skull before that would have happened. But I'm wondering if Balin and Shin are gonna help Sabine and them fight off Thrawn, or if they're just gonna be like, nah, that's your problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all go have fun with that. Because I'm clearly Shin. I mean, she doesn't like anybody, but clearly she doesn't like Sabine. Like, you know what I mean? Clearly she'll like Sabine. So I could definitely see it being a thing like, nah, I'm not helping her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, like, I'm trying to kill her. Like, so I don't know. But yeah. Will, man, I will let you go. Like I said, we're planning and maybe try to do something again this weekend. If not, then what I was trying to say, Tuesday, I wanna record after the episode. Like, I want to do it right after it's over. That way it's all fresh and we don't make the mistake of talking to each other before the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As soon as it's done, put me up.
I mean, we'll probably say a little stuff. Yeah, no, we'll do it for sure. Because yeah, and that way we can have it out on Wednesday. So that way, by the time people have actually watched it, they can either watch this or listen to it or whatever. So that'll work out perfect. I didn't mind taking the day in between, because it gives both of us kind of time to more analyze and kind of break it down even more. Like, you know what I mean? So it kind of gives us more time. But once again, I don't mind revisiting it a couple times or a few times within a week, as long as schedules permit. So we'll work it out, man, and we'll do something, because you know it's Star Wars. Why not?
Absolutely. By the way, we haven't mentioned anything, but I'm going to mention it right now. Mr. Viral over here with over 1 million views on his Bravo. I mean, Wu-Tang's for the kids.
Thank you,
know
man.
what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That's pretty dope.
Right. It is for the kids. It is for the kids. Yeah, no, man. That was one of those ones where totally random. I saw the video, I think, on Instagram, and because I don't really use Instagram, I was like, all right, I went to go look it up on TikTok, because I watched it like 10 times just in the back, because I just thought it was catchy. But my reaction in the video is pretty similar to how it was in real life too, because when I first saw it, I was like, yo, what is happening? Because I'm like, I know these kids are not about to perform this song, bro. Like, and then when he started it, I was like, yo, like, what is happening? And the more the song went on, I was like, all right, like, this is dope. Like, the kid's actually doing pretty good, because he hit ODB's lines, like how ODB does it. And I was like, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you sold me, bro. Like, because it's one thing if you just rap it, right? But if you are actually doing it how it's supposed to be done, I can do nothing but respect you. Like, you know what I mean? It's, you know what? You got it, kid. Like, I'm on board. I am on board. But yeah, no, totally random. I literally, after I recorded it and edited it, I almost edited it a little bit differently, because I had to like reshoot something for it. But I literally put my phone down after I posted it. Didn't think anything of it, dude, because I post random shit like that all the time that has nothing to do with, you know, any of the nerdy stuff that I talk about. And it usually doesn't go anywhere, right? I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, that's funny. So I'm sitting here playing the game on a stream, and I hadn't picked up my phone the whole time, and I just happened to just like, oh, let me check it or whatever. And I looked up, and I want to say it was like in the thousands at that point. I was like, holy shit. So like in the stream, you can hear me getting quiet or whatever, and I'm like, I'm talking about it, and I'm just like, eventually I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get off soon. I'm gonna have to look to see what all this is, because like there's a lot going on right now. And like it blew up, man. It was like the first day, within like 24 hours, it was, I don't know if it was over 100K, but it was the first couple days, that first day, it skyrocketed. And then I think now it's like a week or so later. It's still getting views and comments, and people are reposting it and putting it in their story and sharing it. And as you saw the Rock the Bells thing, they just shared it. They still haven't rectified the name on it though. And looking now that I've looked at their page and see the kind of stuff that they do, all I can think is like, yo, if they would have had my handle correct, I can only imagine the kind of traffic I potentially could have gotten. Because don't get me wrong, I see videos like that all the time and don't necessarily go look at the original creative stuff and go follow them. Like, you know, that may not happen. But on the off chance, some of those people would even do that. Like, granted, Instagram is the one I use the least personally. Like, I post to it, but like I don't really use Instagram like that. Like, I'm an old man. Facebook is just easier, and I feel like it's better in my opinion. The UI is so much more interactive. Like, I'm old. It's okay. I'm okay with it. TikTok is the hip thing that I do. That's my cool hip thing. And even then, I clearly am still trying to figure it out because the algorithms and all that shit doesn't really make any sense. It's starting to make sense, or more sense now. Like each piece of the puzzle that I get that's successful, it starts to make the bigger picture make more sense. As far as what they're looking for. But even then, man, I feel like it's a crapshoot. Like, you're literally just rolling the dice, and if just like you know, rolling the dice or, you know, doing the slots, you just every once in a while, man, you might hit, like, you know what I mean? Like, but you never know, like, you know what I mean, what it's gonna be. So you just gotta put it out there. But once again, that's another one. I know we talked about this too, but this is the last thing, I swear. Whenever we do get that Ezra reaction, I'm taking the screenshot of that. That's the phrase we're using for you to do the voiceover on it. We're gonna digitally cut out the mouth, bro. Just put your mouth on his mouth and the eyes. Put your eyes on his eyes.
Be like, what the? What was it? The Italian Ezra? What, are you freaking kidding me over here? I leave this. Yeah, just go nuts. Just go nuts. Just have so much fun with that.
No, that's funny. Yeah. No, I mean, look, you can just do it as you. You could do it as your Will Brooklyn thing, because your Brooklyn, when you go on your Brooklyn rants, bro, like, I am dead. Like, I'm super dead with the Brooklyn rants. And
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Different people. Yo, I made the mistake of I think someone was either from the Bronx or from Brooklyn, but I made the mistake of saying the other one. They're like, yo, don't disrespect me like that. I was like, I forgot how hard each borough goes for their borough. Like,
yeah, bro. Yeah. I live in Manhattan for the last 3 years. Nobody knows. So Brooklyn, repping Brooklyn. Yep. You live in Brooklyn?
When you're in Harlem?
Well, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You don't need to ask me where I live. Just know I'm from Brooklyn. That's the thing too. Like, Harlem, Harlem, they don't even consider that. That's its own little, like, place, right? Like, from what I've known, all the New Yorkers are like, yeah. So you got the boroughs, you got Manhattan, and Harlem. Like, Harlem isn't part of Manhattan. Harlem is Harlem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is its own thing. Harlem is a cross between
I think
Manhattan
I've been
and
past
Bronx.
it. I got you. So I don't think I've ever been in it. Like, I think I've driven past Harlem. I don't think I've ever been in it. Like, I've gone past it and been like, oh, that's where, like, the Clintons live, like, down there somewhere. And I'm like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's cool. But I don't think I've ever been to Harlem.
Good tacos.
I think I drove past the Apollo once. Really small compared to how it looks on TV.
Yeah, tiny. It looks tiny from the outside. Like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Where's the rest of it? All right, man. Well, last time, I swear I'm gonna let you go this time, man, because, like I said, we'll be in here talking forever, bro.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right,
thank you.
Until next time, Basement Dwellers, we'll probably catch you guys either this weekend or next week for Ahsoka episode 7. In which case we are in unknown territories, unknown waters, because we've never been to this other galaxy before, so it could go anywhere.
Not
so
unknown regions.
You'd be right. Not the unknown regions, unknown galaxy. Totally different thing. Totally different thing. For anybody who didn't know, because I knew.
I apologize. I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick that up when you were saying it.
Yeah, no.
I feel bad.
That's all
somebody else had to
because I was like, no. I was like, no. And so that's the other thing I thought too. I was like, well, no, like that was the only thing that gave me any kind of confidence. I'm like, no, because I'm sure Will would have corrected me, right? And I was like, no. Like, I know what I'm talking about. And they were like, yeah, no, dude. Like, look at the map. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the one thing with a lot of fans in general, but one thing about especially the Star Wars fans, like, when we know something, it's not a like, oh, look, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, no. I think they were like, look, I know this is a fact, but go look it up just in case. Like, I mean, go look at the map. Like, I mean, but go look it up just in case. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that two different. Like, that's not what that is. And I was like, you know what? I believe you 1,000%. I will probably look it up just for my own personal educational reasons, but I believe you 1,000% that those are not the same thing. Like, that I've just been misinterpreting that this entire time, because it just never made any sense to me that like a place in their own galaxy would be unknown. I'm like, as far away and long time ago as this is, no one's ever explored it. Like, what?
Technically,
your explanation made sense. Yeah, so your explanation made sense. So shit, that's a whole nother movie or a show right there. You get to explore that. All right, I swear we're done. All right, once again, Basement Dwellers, I'm letting Will go so that we can go to bed, and I'll probably try to get some rest, but I doubt it. Until next time, man. Later. Peace. Stay frosty.
Thanks for watching. Hey, you seem pretty cool, so become a basement dweller and join us in my dad's basement, underground for nerd pop culture.